Have you ever had the terrible feeling in the pit of your stomach that for the past month of going to the gym, you haven't been gaining any muscle and you haven't been making any progress at all? You start examining your physique and notice that the amount of fat has not went down and the size of your arms has not gone up. You feel terrible. You start questioning if the gym is even working. But what if I told you that the gym isn't the problem? The problem is how you are executing. I'm a mechanical engineering student who has been training for over 4.5 years. I went from a 120-pound skinny fat nerd to a 160-pound kind of jacked looking guy, but I'm still a nerd. The reason I said I was a mechanical engineering student is because I have been taught to create and analyze systems. In this short video, I'm going to break down a system into simple parts so that you can get back on track to making more gains. I'm going to break down a tool that all engineers use when designing machinery. Don't worry, I'm not going to get super nerdy on this. I'm going to keep it simple and connect it back to bodybuilding so you can get practical insights. The legendary tool that I am talking about is the stress strain curve. This curve is used by so many different engineers. What it essentially does is compares stress versus strain on a chart. This gives a very easy visual on how a material gets stressed and how it responds in terms of strain. Stress in engineering is literally what it sounds like. It is in units of pressure. It is literally how much pressure the system is under. Think of stress in engineering like stress in real life. If you're under a lot of stress in real life, you're going to get a lot of strain. So if you climb higher and higher on the stress line right here, the resulting strain is going to be more and more. And quickly in engineering, strain is how much the material has deformed. So the more stress you put it under, the more it's going to deform. Now for the good stuff, I'm going to tie this chart into bodybuilding. The very first part is too little stress, so very little stress equals elastic deformation. What that means is right here, this part right here, this is this is elastic. That actually looks pretty good. This is elastic deformation, meaning if you go to a certain point, let's call this 75. I'm not going to put any units on this to keep it simple. So I'm just going to say 75 and you're going to understand what it means. If you get anything less than 75 units of stress, meaning you get somewhere around here, that means the amount of strain you are going to result in is right here. And if you let go, meaning you don't get any more stress than that, or actually, if you don't get any more stress than 75, that means the material will go back to its original state. It'll go straight back down here. That's called elastic deformation. It's deformation that whenever it's like the stress is finished, it's going to go straight back to its original state. Now, what this means in bodybuilding is if you don't get enough stimulus, you will not grow. You're literally not giving your body a reason to grow. You are staying in the elastic deformation zone. So let's just say in terms of bicep curls, if you're just stuck at 3 sets of 12 of 20 pounds on bicep curls and you're just not going more than that, you're you're just not even trying to go more than that. You're not pushing intensity. You're just like, oh yeah, 3 sets, 12, 20 pounds. I'm doing good. You're not feeling a burn. Nothing's going on. You're not getting enough stress to cause any deformation. Because as soon as you drop those weights, your biceps are going to go straight back down here to where they originally started. The second part of this is too much stress. So like way too much stress equals fracture, which is this right here, failure. In a material, when you just give it so much stress, you travel this whole line, you will get to a point where the material just fails. The same thing goes with bodybuilding. If you just continue to give your body so much stress and you just don't give it any time to recover, you don't do any of that, you will get to failure. And I don't mean the good type of failure, like the intensity failure. I mean, you will get to injury levels. If you give too much stimulus to your body, that literally means no recovery, which is going to lead to an injury. And you don't want that. That is a failure. As soon as you injure yourself, you are setting back your progress by a lot. Now for the third topic, the best part, the sweet spot. This is plastic deformation. Over here was elastic deformation. This is plastic deformation, aka permanent deformation. On this chart, there is a certain point right here. It is called the UTS, also known as the ultimate tensile strength. Once you get past this point on the chart, to get even more strain or even more deformation, it requires less and less stress. As you can see, to get here, you only need, let's just say, like 80. But the ultimate tensile strength, let's just call it 100. To get over here, you need 80. Or sorry, let's just say failure. To get to failure, you need 80 points of stress. But to the ultimate tensile strength, you need to get to 100. The plastic deformation range is right here. This side. This is where plastic deformation occurs. This is what we want. Meaning, if you get enough stress to right here, let's say 80 again. If you get enough stress to get to 80, you get this much strain, you won't go all the way back down here. The material in material science, you don't go all the way back down. You permanently deformed the object. You gave enough enough stress to strain it enough to permanently deform the object, meaning you will go back down at this same slope. But that doesn't matter. You will go back down to here. This is your new starting point, meaning if you meaning if you got to 80 on the chart, you went into the plastic deformation zone, and then you just let go of the object. You just stopped giving stress to the object. It will go all the way back down to here. This is its new baseline. What this looks like in bodybuilding, if you progress just enough to get into the plastic deformation zone, you will permanently deform your body by making it bigger, which is what we want. We want to have bigger muscles. Your new baseline is going to be a slightly bigger bicep. To get into the plastic deformation zone, you have to progressively overload. Progressive overload is periodically increasing the reps, the weights, or even the intensity on a certain lift to keep progressing. You want to plastically deform your body. You want to get bigger and bigger biceps. We want plastic deformation on our body. But again, we do not want to go past this point. We don't want to go past the ultimate tensile strength of our body. We don't want to go past the limits of our body, because once you start heading this way, you will get to this zone. Now, our bodies can't be really explained by a chart. We don't know what the ultimate tensile strength is for our body. But our body does start to let us know once we get past this point. If you just get so tired after your lifts, you just feel weak in the gym and all blah, 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 that probably means you went past this point. That is your body letting you know, hey, if you continue this path, we will get to failure. We will injure ourselves somehow by like our muscles stretching the wrong way, incorrect form, whatever. Your body will let you know. Now, unlike in material, like if you once you get past the UTS, you can't go back. You literally cannot go back. But in our case, we can go back. If we get to this point past the UTS, and our body lets us know, and we don't get to failure, we were like, oh, okay, let's cut it back, let's start resting, we can go back down here. We can head back down. Now again, to be clear, when I say plastic deformation, I don't mean deformation in a bad way. Deformation in our case, in terms of bodybuilding, is a good thing. Our plastic deformation is literally our muscles getting bigger. We want that. That's what we want. If you found this visual helpful, let me know by dropping a comment below. If you found this super helpful, book a one-on-one coaching call with me with a top link in the description. The next 10 people to sign up will receive a discounted price. I will coach you. I will plastically deform your body. You know what to do. Get up and get after it.